Hi friends, I'm preparing a mini series of SQL Server 2019 as is the latest MS SQL version from Microsoft. So I'm going to prepare a mini series which will cover following topic. The first one is the setup and installation. The second will be basic queries. The third one will be security. The fourth one will be MS SQL and different drivers and support. Then a specific topic for files. Then I'm going to cover some of the other new features which are introduced in SQL Server 2019. And finally, some general topics regarding the MS SQL. The first one is the installation and setup. So in this video, I'm going to share with you how to set up SQL Server, also how to do the installation of it, how to go through all the difficult parts of the setup of MS SQL 2019. First, I show you how to download the setup, from where to download the setup, and finally we will go through the installation and the setup part. In the start, it looks the setup and installed is a easier thing, but I suggest you not to skip this video for the upcoming lecture I'm going to publish soon on my channel, because the setup seems to be easy, but it goes beyond that, because there are certain things in the installation that could be tricky and you need to understand it. So you can, to download the setup of MySQL 2019, you can go to Microsoft website. I'm using the English version. It's available in other languages as well. /SQL Server, SQL Server downloads. So there are two options. One is SQL Server 2019 on premises and SQL Server 2019 on Azure. As you know, Azure is a Microsoft cloud, so you can install an instance of SQL Server on Microsoft Azure cloud as well. Well, we are going to do the on-premise, which is if you have your own data center or on your own computer, you have to use the on-premise version. The another thing is there's a free trial that you can download, and there are two different editions. One is the developer one. It's a full feature edition, but you cannot use in a production environment. It's against the license rules. It's for the development and the test databases. And another one is the Express, which is also free, but it have a limitation of the database size of 10 gigs, which I think is quite fine for us. So we are going to use the Express version. Uh, After 10 gigs, up to 10 gigs, you can use the SQL Server 2019. After that, you can buy the upgrade license if your database size go more than 10 gigs. Apart from that, let's see what is more on this page. You can download for Windows, which we are going to use in this tutorial. Sorry. You can, now it's also available for Linux, that you can, if you want to install my MS SQL for Linux. And for the Docker system, Dockers are the microservices and software development forms where you run containers, and containers use databases as well for the services. So you can use it for Dockers also. And there are the other tools and connectors which are available. We will discuss them in the upcoming lectures. So we are going to download the Express edition. I have already downloaded the Express edition. Let's go and proceed with the installation part. So there are three different kind of installation. One is the basic, which install with the default configurations, but we are not going to use this one. If you have a downloadable media, which we don't have it, so we will go through the custom installation. So when we go through the custom installation, it asks where it can extract the set of files. Basically, it give you a default location in the C drive, but I can proceed with it because the download size is only 266 MB, and the minimum free space is 6 gigs. So let's proceed with this. Now it's downloading the set of files. Sorry, because it's an online installation, so I need to download a set of files. So it's a boring part. We just wait few more seconds because my connection speed is quite good, so it will not take too much time. So this till the time this screen pass, let's talk about what we are going to cover in this course. It's a free course. I'm going to upload the tutorials in the sequence so you can learn all the major things which are in SQL 2019, like setup, like installation, how to use SQL Management Studio. That for that I will make a completely different lecture. What basic queries you can learn, insert, update, other things related to the SQL Server. Then I'm going to cover the security part, how to enhance the security of SQL Server, what security parameters you can set, etc. Then the data files, every single thing which is needed for SQL Server administration, I'm going to cover in this lecture. So please do subscribe and also click the bell icon, so as soon as I upload a new video you will come to know. So now if you see, the download is already finished and the setup is extracting the setup files to start the installation. So download is finished and now the installation will start. So this is the first installation screen. As you can see, there are several different options. The first one is what we are going to use basically is the new standalone installation, or upgrade existing installation, or add, not upgrade, basically to add a new feature, like during the part of the installation you select various features. So you can select the features, and if you need an additional feature, you can go through the same phase of the installation and select the additional feature. There is another option of installing the reporting services for MySQL, which we are not going to use. Install SQL Management Studio to create users, connection, etc. So we are going to do another video for this. Then is SQL Server Data Tools, which we don't need it, so we are not going through this. And then is, if you already use SQL Server 2017 or any other old SQL version, so you can upgrade your SQL version. So let's click on new SQL installation. This is the license agreement. I have already read it. You can go through it as well. I just accept it and click next. It's just checking the global rules. If you have an offline installation, you can select on that check mark. So if you don't have the latest version, Microsoft will update the version before installing. That's fine for us. Now it's checking the set of files. It have already skipped an extraction of set of files because we have already done that part when we did the download, online download. It's checking that everything is fine for the installation. Everything is passed, just a window firewall gives away a warning, because you need to allow the port and make firewalls rules. We will cover at the end of the lecture that which port need to be allowed, how to create the rules in your firewall to access the services. So normally the Microsoft SQL Server port is 1433, and we will make that in the last section of the video. Okay, now these are the most important parts. So by default, if you run a express installation, it select all the services that need to be installed. That comes as a part of the Express engine. So let's see what we need. Database, it's a core database engine. Okay, let's check. SQL replication, if you have a synchronization server for replications, you can check it, but we don't need it. Nowadays, Microsoft is focusing a lot on the machine learning part. So they gave additional, if you are interested in machine learning algorithms and making program, MS SQL is a great tool. So, but we are not going through that part. So I'm going to uncheck that part. That's what is this. This includes the search engine that support full data extraction, semantic search. It's not needed, but let's see how much it makes difference. It's 400 MB, so we don't need it. Uh, then the shared features, client connectivity tools, we need it. How to connect with that? If any client tool backward compatibility, we need it. Client tool SDK is for the developers, so let's check it. Because let's see how much is size. Let's do it. SQL connectivity is SDK, software development kit is fine. Local DB, we don't need it. So we are going to install database engine and some of the part of the shared features. Okay. Here you can select where is the root installation directory of the MS SQL Server. So by default, it goes in the C program, but if you want, you can do installation in any other directory. If you select uh, the file system directly, it will give you an error. Let's show that to you. If I go to my D directory, okay. I did not change the share directory, it's fine. Let's go back. Next. So the default name instance or the name of your database is SQL Express, as we are installing the Express edition, but you can give any name you want, but don't give too fancy name because this will be used as a part of the connection string. So for this test installation, we can use it just SQL Express and move next. This is the instance configuration. So by default, what services are enabled and what are not. So the database engine is automatically enabled, and I don't want to do extra work at the end of the installation, so I can put it automatic as well. SQL browser. Let's go to the database engine configuration part. Okay, so there are the different kind of authentication. In this installation, we are going to use the Windows authentication mode, the same users which is on my computer. I just ignore the name. It's my brother created that. Um, you can also use mix mode if you want to give a system administration password SA, but we have another video lineup which is for the SQL Management Studio. So we are going to learn how to create the users, access, and everything. These are the data directories and the location of the data directories if we want to change it, but I'm going to leave it like this. This is the number of files. This is a temp database which is needed. So this is the configuration. So you can leave it as it is, and you can modify the parameter if your application have a certain requirement or your developer give you a certain clear instruction to manipulate the parameters. This is the memory and the file stream. So we can enable the file stream because we have another video in the later stage. We are going to cover the file stream. So for now, click next. So now the actual installation in progress. It will take some time. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to pause the video till the time it's going to finish, and then we can go to the setup part. And but it looks fine. It's quite fast. I'm using a Core i7 8-core processor with 16 GB of RAM, so the installation is quite fast on my machine. It could take uh, different time for different users, so uh, don't be frustrated if it's taking too much time on your machine, on your home laptop, or if you are going to use a virtual machine. So we give a lesser capacity to the virtual machines, so it could be slower on your virtual machines. In the video, if you feel boring, you can skip this part. It's just a normal installation. So welcome back. I skipped the video because it was a boring part. As you can see, we have finished the SQL Server 2019 installation. Everything is successful. All the tools are installed. And if you want to see the summary of the location, you can go to the text file here, and it shows what the program have done, what parameters has been enabled, what have we have left. And if you have any errors, you can download that file, and if you have a Microsoft support, you can send the log file if you are getting an error on the server while installation of the MySQL 2019. You can pass that log file to Microsoft support and they are going to help you. So as we finish, now close to the window. After that, what we are going to do, we are going to SQL Server Configuration Manager. So we are going to native client configuration. Here are the client protocols. If you go to the properties, the default port is 1433. And one part we skipped during the installation part was the firewall part. So what you need to do, you need to go to your firewall, go to inbound for the rules, because you need to allow the Microsoft database port, connection port. So you go to the new rules. Here you need to select the port because we are going to allow the port for the connection. Here is TCP and UDP. So you always choose TCP. So the port number I'm going to write 1433. Next, allow the connections. Domain private. I select everyone for now. Name SQL Server 2019. SQL Server 2019 connection rules. And finish. So we add a rule where the user can connect on the specific port. And TCP IP properties. Now go to the aliases. One second. Network configuration, protocols. So shared, you can use different things to connect to. Use shared memory. You can use name pipe, or you can use TCP IP. It's always good to use TCP IP because it's the easiest way to connect. So I'm connected to internet, so it's giving IP. You can put the port over here, 1433. You can change the IP as well and put the loopback address. Apply it. So it give a you can enable services, and we have make the changes. So you go to the SQL Server. You can restart to apply the changes we made in the native client. So Now we again go to the native client protocols, TCP IP is enabled, and here also TCP IP enabled. Let's see the changes we make are applied or not. Sorry for this. Go. Done. Here also TCP IP is enabled, and done. Though, so friends, that was the setup part of SQL Server 2019, sorry. So this was my first video of this series, so kindly subscribe, like it, share with your friends, because a lot more is going to come on this channel, and we are going to cover every single features of SQL Server 2019 in the coming video that could be helpful, and please do subscribe.